Well, we're all hungry. We can eat it when we get home.
This is not funny. Come on. I'm not kidding. I'm serious here. Give it to me. Molly.
I am serious. Now give me the box.
I want my pizza.
Oh.
Watch out!
Patty, you home yet? Molly? Where'd they go for that pizza? Italy? Let's see what we have here. Ooh, nasty crash.
If today is an average day in our country, more than 125 people will be killed in traffic accidents, and nearly 5,000 more will be injured today, tomorrow, and the next day. It's as if we become numb to the subject. But what makes this even more tragic is the fact that most of the collisions that take place every day could be prevented. They could be prevented if every driver paid more attention to their driving. Just 2 words: pay attention. There are all sorts of skills and techniques we need to use in order to drive safely. But all these skills and techniques can be tied together with those 2 words: pay attention. Pay attention to what's happening ahead of us, around us, and inside of us. And lives could be saved. If we make ourselves pay attention to what we're doing and what the other person is doing, we can help ensure that every trip is a safe trip.
What's wrong with this thing? What's wrong with this thing? What's wrong with this thing?
Larry, excuse me, I don't think there's anything wrong with this thing. I think you're just holding it backwards. There we go.
Oh, well, thanks.
You're welcome. By the way, I'm McLean Stevenson. I'm glad you could join us today.
What's going on? What am I doing here?
Well, Larry, you're going to help us learn a few things about paying attention while we're driving.
Well, I may not be the best driver in the world, but, are we on TV?
Yes, we are.
Well, as I was saying, I may not be the best driver in the world, but, you know, I do it almost every day, and I really don't have to give it that much thought.
But that's my point. It's hard for us to pay special attention to something that is so routine in our lives. Larry, let me show you what I mean by paying attention, okay? Have a seat. Larry, let's start here, paying attention to what's happening inside of us. We need to pay attention to how our emotions control our frame of mind. Whether we're angry or happy, our emotions can be real distractions. And how our personalities can change when we get behind the wheel.
Hey, I don't sound like that. Do I?
And we can also become pretty nonchalant when we're in our daily driving routine. Speaking of routine, Larry, do you wear seat belts?
Sure. Well, most of the time. On long trips, when it's slippery.
Larry, paying attention to what's happening inside of us means being aware of our frame of mind before we start the engine. If you don't fasten your seat belt, you're not in the right frame of mind to be driving. Seat belts have been proven to be so effective that every person in the vehicle should use one on every trip. Now watch this. Here's a test with seat belts fastened. Now here's what happens without seat belts.
Pretty convincing. But I have a car with airbags, so I really don't have to worry about seat belts.
Whoa, not quite. Airbags are designed to inflate during frontal collisions only, so they can reduce head and chest injuries and save lives. If you're not wearing your seatbelt, you can submarine right under the airbag away from its protection. And during side collisions, when the airbag doesn't inflate, your seatbelt holds you in place so you aren't thrown around inside the vehicle, or worse yet, thrown out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it's all too easy to forget about buckling up or let our emotions take control when we're driving. Now, let's look at the importance of paying attention to what is happening around us. One skill that will help us here is learning to observe. We should keep our eyes moving and check our mirrors often, every 7 seconds or so.
That often?
Things can change pretty fast, Larry. We need to create a safe environment for ourselves. Giving yourself room on all sides of your vehicle allows you an out in case a problem does develop. Just as important as observing is communicating. You gotta make sure other drivers know what you're up to. Using turn signals should be a habit. Use your headlights in dim light, low light angles, and of course, in bad weather. Paying attention to what's happening around us also means adjusting to the conditions we're driving in. This includes weather conditions, road conditions, light conditions, and of course, traffic conditions.
Oh, okay. And the next one is paying attention to what's happening ahead of us. Well, seems pretty obvious. Keep your eyes on the road.
Oh, there's a little more to it than that, Larry. The key here is to anticipate. Look well ahead of you when driving. Don't just stare at the car ahead. And always keep at least 2 seconds of space between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead of you.
2 seconds?
Yeah, start counting when the vehicle ahead of you passes a landmark.
That sign coming up. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Does it matter what speed you're driving?
Whether we're driving at 55 or 25 miles per hour, the 2-second rule gives us time to act if we're paying attention. In bad weather or when following a truck, put even more space between you and the vehicle ahead of you. Anticipating also means keeping our eyes moving and paying attention to the sides of the road. We should also anticipate how our actions may affect other drivers.
Well, that all seems important, but couldn't that list go on forever?
Well, I guess it could, but you got to remember, Larry, that every situation is different. The important thing is that we pay attention to what's going on inside, around, and ahead of us. Hey, I have an idea. Let's have you play some different roles and see how well you and the other drivers pay attention. What's wrong with this thing?
Oh, you got it backwards, McLean.
Thank you.
Just what I need, more construction.
Janet's pretty upset with the construction delay, but it doesn't seem to be bothering you, Larry. You're so busy thinking about the golf game you're on your way to that you're not paying attention to how close you're following Janet's car.
There's gotta be a way of getting around all this. It's driving me nuts.
Now, there is a dramatic example of how paying attention could have prevented an accident.
You're telling me.
First of all, Janet's emotions, her frame of mind, kept her from adjusting to the conditions she was driving in. You know, she might have avoided the construction worker by slowing down while in the construction zone and watching the sides of the road more carefully. If she had carefully observed what was happening farther ahead, she could have stopped safely.
Yeah, messing with that map wasn't the brightest idea.
And neither was thinking about your golf game. Waiting for an opportunity to turn off the road to look at her map safely could have made all the difference in the world.
Well, I sure wasn't letting my emotions get out of hand. I was just minding my own business. A little too intently, maybe.
Sure weren't using the 2-second rule.
More like 2 microseconds.
If we're not paying attention, it's easy to start tailgating without even noticing it. That's better. Let's look at another situation.
Man, I'm glad it's Friday.
Sure, tell me about it. I'm working overtime every day this week. 12 hours yesterday alone.
Cry all the way to the bank, Larry.
Well, yeah, sure, it's nice once in a while, but boy, by the end of the week, I can hardly think straight. Well, I'm out of here.
No, hey, sit down. Where are you going? Look, Larry, the game's gonna be on in a few minutes.
I really have to get going.
Come on. It's early. Look, the game's gonna be on in a few minutes. Come on.
What the heck, huh? Watch a few innings anyway.
Attaboy.
Hey, I'm just playing a role. Right, McLean?
Oh, yeah. But drinking and driving is one of the biggest safety problems in our country. Even small amounts of alcohol or drugs can affect our reflexes, our perception, or our judgment.
A few beers on top of being totally beat, and I didn't stand a chance.
Look, the game's gonna be on in a few minutes. Come on.
Ah, what the heck? I suppose I can watch a few innings.
All right.
But I'm gonna have a coffee.
I didn't realize it, but the beer really got to me. I didn't even put on my seatbelt. There. That's more like it. But that accident wasn't all my fault. That woman ran that stop sign.
Yeah, she probably considered it a stop. It's easy to get used to doing rolling stops. She even looked both ways, but she didn't take the time to look very carefully. The couple of seconds a complete stop would have added to her trip wouldn't mean much once she arrived, but it meant an awful lot at this intersection. Let's look at another situation.
Oh, no! Of all the mornings to be late.
She take that brush again. Well, slow down. It's an alley, not a freeway. Ouch. Boy, you're making me look bad, McLean.
Hey, you're not the first person to try that shortcut.
Hey, this one's pretty simple. Be prepared, right?
Sure makes life easier. Now, how about the other guy?
Calm down, buddy. It's dangerous to try to make up for lost time when you're behind the wheel.
Well, better late than never, I guess.
In poor driving conditions, it's especially important to observe what's happening well ahead of you, so there's time to react. Ready for another one?
Sure. Can't get any worse. Can it?
We'll see.
Who's been messing with those mirrors again? I'll get it later.
That's not it.
Come on, come on. Make up your mind.
That's not it either.
Come on, you moron!
What's his problem? What's your problem, you jerk?
Gotta get around this guy.
You think you're going?
Come on, give me a break, buddy. Come on.
Now I know what you're thinking. I feel real bad for the guy, but he should have let me pass. He should have at least...
Larry, when it comes to driving, we're always so quick to blame the other guy. Let's just see what could have prevented that.
There's where I went wrong. I should have fixed that stupid mirror. That's what caused the whole accident.
It contributed to the accident, but it wasn't the only thing you did wrong.
Come on, you moron!
I know. I lose my cool sometimes when people do stupid things.
Apparently, he wasn't sure where he was going, Larry, but he could have paid more attention to what was happening around him.
Oops, better let this guy get by me.
Yeah, well, how about when I started to pass? He acted like it was the starting flag at the Indy 500.
Courtesy on the road can save lives. And so can paying attention to what's happening ahead of you.
He wasn't paying attention either. He should have seen me passing and waited.
This was a situation that involved three people that all should have been paying more attention. Now, Larry, I want you to see one more thing. This is something that's going to show us the importance of keeping our vehicle operating safely, okay?
Hey, that's Molly and Patty.
I want my pizza. Watch out!
No!
Thank God for Larry, this was just a bad dream. But things like this really do happen, yet they can be prevented so easily.
Boy, am I glad to see you guys.
Daddy, you're in big trouble. You should have seen what happened.
Larry, you have got to get those brakes fixed. We were nearly killed.
I know. It scared the heck out of me. I'm gonna fix them right now.
What do you mean you know?
I'll tell you later.
Daddy, want some pizza?
Take some for me, will you, honey?
What got into him?
I don't know. He was hungry when we left.
You know, all of the collisions we've seen happened at less than 35 miles per hour, yet they all had the power to devastate people's lives. But as we saw, when the people involved were paying attention, events turned out differently. You see, when we're paying attention, we're in control of our driving. And that's when we can prevent something from happening, when we least expect it.